My name is Jayakumar Hariharan. I'm an executive coach, speaker, and author. Stories That Shift is a series of intimate conversations with CXOs and practitioners about what makes them tick. Stories are not what we say, stories are who we are. I have a very special guest on the pod today, Sanjeev Bajaj, Joint Chairman and Managing Director of Bajaj Capital. Sanjeev, welcome to the show.
It's my pleasure to be here.
Awesome. Like all things, it's great to begin at the beginning. Could you take our listeners, viewers, through the story of Bajaj Capital?
Okay, so let me tell you a story. We are a very young company which was formed in 1964.
Uh-huh.
So, and a lot of people don't know this about Bajaj Capital, that Bajaj Capital is the company which brought wealth management to the country.
Brilliant.
So we were the first wealth management company. Before that, there was no formal setup for any company or any organization which used to help people save money and build money.
Got it.
The only thing available before that was stock trading. Stocks had come before. But at that time, stock trading, people were just buying and selling.
Got it.
So it was more like a gambling rather than an investing. And then what we realized that this was done by my father, he realized that, look, if people really wanted to create wealth, they had to be a part of that journey of the company. They had to select the good companies and they had to stay. Okay? So the whole concept of buy right and stay tight.
Stay the course.
Stay the course was actually started by us.
Amazing.
So the whole, a lot of innovations of this financial market that you see today were born at Bajaj Capital.
Amazing.
So the concept of systematic investment plan was started at Bajaj Capital.
Wow.
And, so the whole philosophy was that be a partner in the right companies. So, so what that time they had done is that time there used to be Hindustan Lever, Ponds, etc, maybe by different names, or East India Hotels. So all the best scripts were chosen, and then the people were told that, look, you can be a partner in their growth. All you have to do is buy the share and stay with them. And at that time, the concept, then people said, look, I have limited money. How do I become, a partner here? Or how do I build lakhs or crores? So the whole concept of we started this concept of make your children lakpati, and we would tell a person to buy one share each month.
Amazing.
Okay, so that is how systematic investment was born in the country.
Beautiful.
And then, also there's a product called Companies Fixed Deposit, which is very popular. That was also innovated by us. At that time, if you remember, in 1960s, it was a time of nationalization.
Correct.
And when nationalization happened, what happened was that the flow of the funds became very tight. So the companies at that time could borrow only a limited amount,
Correct.
and it was all quoted and rationed.
Absolutely.
So and the story of Bajaj Capital started with East India Hotels, the Oberoi Hotel. And they approached my father. My father used to do some work with them. That is there some way we can get funding beyond, the
regular,
banks, because the banks were not lending at that time. So they said, okay, why don't we go straight to the public and we give them a higher interest rate? And वो जो आज की डेट में बोलते हैं ना direct तो disintermediation was started by us, where we said we'll disintermediate the bank.
The bank, yeah.
So the whole concept of the hundi was converted into a company's fixed deposit, and that got born. And later, as the product became more popular, the regulations that got written on it, we were very active part of that.
Excellent.
So we at that time understood that, look, now this industry is picking up, it needs to be regulated. So my father played a huge role in getting RBI to write the regulations and the controls on it.
Excellent.
So this is, traditionally it was, whether you wanted to invest in an IPO, you wanted to invest in any company FD, Bajaj Capital was the partner for you. And same for investment banking. Our other part was helping corporates raise funds. So today, most of the large corporates that you see, were actually helped in their funding journey by
Beautiful.
Bajaj Capital. So that's the basic old story. But we always were very, in tune with the products. So we were like, our mutual fund code is 0010. So we were the distributor number one for mutual funds. We were the first institution to take mutual fund distribution when they came in. Then we worked with them and we said, look, mutual fund is a beautiful tool to start systematic investments. So we started SIPs and we started selling SIPs. And once the insurance opened up, so, we started offering life insurance. People used to think, oh, life insurance is somebody just going to come and push me a product and that product is not going to be good for me. But that used to only happen because the person selling was not a professional. He was just an agent and he sold what he was told, and that was being sold more on an emotional pitch rather than as an investment. But if you looked at LIC, it was an amazing institution.
Yes.
So when we started working with them, we identified products which are awesome. Like there was a product at that time called Jeevan Suraksha, which carried special interest rates of 12% guaranteed for the growth period and beyond. So, today, imagine you had bought that product then.
Oh my
you would get a 12% guaranteed even today from Government of India. So we identified, we built in this whole concept of product research that is very popular amongst all wealth management. That was also innovated at Bajaj Capital, where we used to have a product research team which would research the products and we would make sure the right products goes to the right customer.
Amazing.
So we and we have over the years dealt with 41 lakh PAN account holders.
Brilliant.
So people who have directly or indirectly invested through us. We power most of the other IFAs out there. So today a person may be dealing with some local IFA. He doesn't realize that the IFA maybe is direct only in 4-5 mutual funds. But the remaining 20 mutual funds or the company's fixed deposits, bonds. So he uses the Bajaj Capital platform. So we provide him a technology platform which he uses.
Might not know, but he does.
No, he'll know, but the customer won't know.
Customer might know.
Because at the end of the day, we don't want him customer to feel.
Sure.
And everybody is very possessive about his clients. And that's the reason they have been with us. So our oldest associates have been with us for 30 years, 40 years.
Amazing.
And that's the whole thing about Bajaj Capital. My leadership team on average is 15 years with me.
Wow.
Most of them started in the business when I started, and they have grown with us, and that's one of the ethos we were taught.
That's great testimony.
Yeah, there's no person as a employee. It's all part of a family. And my father taught me that don't manage by instructions, manage by culture. So we are a company managed by culture. And today, we manage about $4 billion of assets, or 30,000 crores, approximately 4.5 billion, 30,000 crores of assets under advice. Our mutual fund AUM is in the range of about 12,000 crores. And the most proudest part is that we have helped people create a lot of wealth.
Amazing.
And most are another fact that is not known about Bajaj Capital, that our average 80% of our clients have been with us for more than 9 years.
Wow.
Because, a lot of wealth managers or a lot of people out there just want to make money and sell.
Sure.
My father told me this story that, do you want to be selling a shaving blade, or do you want to be selling a razor?
Ah, nice.
Okay, so, so the story he told me, he said, look, don't make money in the razor. Make money on the blade, because you will keep earning rest of your life.
Absolutely.
And that's what we believe. So, we have always worked on a full trail model where our success depends on the success of the client.
How nice.
And today, Bajaj Capital is a quite powerhouse. We are one of the largest and the most powerful distributors in the country. We are the largest, amongst the largest insurance distributors in the country on life insurance and health insurance. And our aim is to, make people's lives better. And our philosophy is very simple, is that, help people retain their wealth and grow their wealth. So a lot of people ask me, why, you're a wealth management house. Why do you offer insurance? And because at the end of the day, if you don't protect your wealth, then you can't build your wealth. Okay? So at the end of the day, if you built up a house and it gets burned down, then you're down to zero.
Exactly.
So if all you have to do is pay maybe 10,000 rupees and buy a fire insurance for a house worth 5-10 crores. So it's not expensive. Yes, there may not be money to be made for the distributor there, but there is a lot of advantage for the customer. Same as if you look at any family that is going through a crisis, typically 90% of the cases, it's due to some health issues. So if you don't buy a proper health insurance plan to get the best treatment, and you don't burn all your cash on treatment, or you don't have a critical illness or a disability,
right?
Okay? So which people don't understand. So so we have helped people understand the concept of having, why is it important to have even a protection, and protection is a part of the wealth creation journey.
I love it.
Your wealth cannot be created.
Yep.
And so that's a brief about Bajaj Capital. Today, we are probably the most loved and highest customer loyalty program, customer loyalty organization. The challenge we face is not of the number of clients we have. The challenge we face is the number of people we have to be able to service those clients.
Got it. Good problem to have.
It's a good problem, but it is also a tough problem.
It is. What a fascinating story, Sanjeev. There are two things that popped out in this run-up. Why is Bajaj Capital so quiet? About all these amazing steps on your journey, where does that come from? What is the thinking?
See, it comes from the fact that, as I said, we are an organization built on customer loyalty. Okay, so when we have loyal customer base who are staying with us as their wealth is growing, our income with them grows, and we are very open and transparent that, look, you're paying us an X percentage of your wealth, 0.5, 0.6. Sure. So what happens is that since our customer base is so solid and so loyal, and we have also serviced them well, so we hardly lose any customers. Since we don't lose customers, and today the biggest challenge is training a wealth manager.
Sure.
Okay. So bringing in the right number of people. So our own base, we don't have enough to service them.
Gotcha.
And that base is increasing because people's wealth is increasing. Now we are in the third and fourth generation of our customers.
Nice.
So the father is recommending his son that, okay, now my son is in his 40s, 50s, manage his portfolio separately.
Correct.
Today, his next generation who are in their 20s want to manage money separately. Okay. So, so we are actually gaining customers there.
Sure.
So we don't have to be loud.
Excellent.
Because at the end of the day, if I'm loud, I can't service a lead I will get.
Got it.
Okay. So, but yes, we are now building up we have built up our tools over the last couple of years. We have, and today, and most, last year, we have now one of the most cutting edge online tools. People think it's all a fintech domain but
I just saw the digital transformation.
Yeah. So today our tools are actually better than most of the fintechs out there.
Wow.
Because we have much more data, we have much more knowledge on the subject. So our portfolio reports are probably the best in the industry today. Take care that we are giving to anybody out there. So point is that now we are building it a sort of a do-it-yourself virtual RM models, which will help us, cater to a much larger audience. And even today, as I told you the story of the Gillette and the blade, 50% of my income is annuity income.
Oh, nice. Absolutely.
50% of my revenue, is annuity revenue. So point is that Bajaj Capital doesn't have to be a very loud organization.
Got it. Very, very well said. Sanjeev, there are two things that also I'm thinking about as we speak. As a country, how banked are we? Is there still a large segment of unbanked population, number one? And number two, I think a wealth manager is increasingly going to play a very, very important role, especially like you said, We are in an age of abundance right now. There is good amount of growth. There's a good amount of liquidity in the market. There is, salaries are increasing, better lifestyles, and investment products are also equally getting a little more complex. To demystify that, what's the road ahead?
So let me explain to you a concept. It's not about people investing. It's about people building a second income. And this is what is a concept that has been created by Bajaj Capital. And people don't understand what a second income is. Second income is that your investments one day should be able to sustain a lifestyle that you want to live.
Brilliant.
So that you work for the sake of working because you love to work, not because you're forced to work. And when a incident like a pandemic or something happens which was never thought of, but you were at home for 4 months, 5 months, then you can afford to enjoy that time rather than being stressed on the time that how do I pay for my things. So this whole concept of building a second income is the core sort of a forte of a Bajaj Capital.
Amazing.
That this is what we want. And this is what needs to go out there. People going and buying products is not truly investing or being banked. So it's about helping them create wealth which can help them sustain this thing. And today the biggest thing that is happening against it is the fact that people think that, look, let me get direct products. Let me reduce the cost for the customer. Yes, for a very high net worth person, it makes a difference that you're paying 0.25 or 0.5% less. But if my portfolio is 1 lakh rupees, then if I get a 0.5 discount, how much is that? 500 rupees?
Sure.
At the end of the day, it's the quality of advice that matters. So where we have gone wrong is that people are investing, but they don't know how to invest. You saw that during the pandemic, how many people opened the share trading account. Today, 80% of those accounts opened have gone inactive because people have lost money. And the markets have just been on one way. They have been up. So here, even if you had made a fluke, you would have made money. But even in that situation, a lot of people lost money because they didn't have the right guidance or the right way to do it. It's like saying that you don't go to a doctor and you get the medicine cheap.
Exactly.
And you just go and buy any medicine. So same, it has to be understood. A wealth management manager today has to pass a lot of certifications. It's a long process to get certified. For us, it's a very expensive process. We spend about 70 to 80,000 rupees per person on training.
Wow.
Just to get him certified and get him ready to be able to give advice. I'm talking about very basic.
Sure.
And if you want to make a more advanced advisor, we have to spend a much more amount of money. So, being banked, not banked is not the right criteria. It's about that whether person is being given a right advice and he's being told, he's been, tutored into, being able to build a second income. So like example is that one of the most beautiful products in this country is called National Pension System. I think it's one of the most brilliant products that has been brought in. And, people used to say fixed benefit was good. But here people are building their own corpus. They are using equity markets. India's story has been amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next 10 years is going to be awesome. Mr. Modi gave a commitment that he's going to help in build India into the third largest economy. And if that is happening, imagine the kind of companies that will be built, kind of wealth that will be created. Now we have to make a common man part of it. So National Pension System is almost the cheapest product. That is there. It's beautiful product from the government of India. It's got tax benefits on its own, but it doesn't have any distribution because it was made totally direct. It is supposed to be available through a bank, and nobody has any incentive to sell it or give it to you.
Sure.
So today, people don't have it. And at the end of the day, so we have to take a right call between the cost. See, if you, my father told me one thing, and you would have heard, he said, learn to respect professionals. If you throw peanuts, you'll get monkeys. So at the end of the day, from every, I was told that, look, when you hire a lawyer, respect to pay his fees. Yes, negotiate, don't go crazy and respect money. But at the end of the day, learn to pay a fees to a professional and be
Such sound
happy
advice.
and be happy paying that fees.
Amazing.
Be proud paying that fees because you're getting the best of the best to work for you. Take care. When you pay a person a salary, you're not doing him a favor. Okay? He is doing you a favor by giving you 4-5x what you pay to him. Okay? So same thing has to be with the investor. Okay, and this is the whole Bajaj Capital genre you asked. There are people who want to be direct self-service. They want to spend time, waste time. They want to learn to be a wealth manager. Yes, out of 100, 5 will be able to do it. 95 will burn their finger. We deal with the market segment that wants to pay a premium for an advice.
Got it.
They want a premium service.
What would your sweet spot customer or a clientele look like?
See, we service everyone. We have 4 different models that work within Bajaj Capital. Okay. So we have a Privé and La Première, which deals with the high net worth individual. Our biggest business is called the affluent business, where people earning more than 15 lakhs to probably 1 crore rupees.
Okay.
So that's our affluent business. That's our oldest business. And now we have
That's per annum.
Per annum. Yeah. So now we have a retail business also, where we cater to people earning up to 15 lakhs. Helping them, as you're talking about, even a normal guy wanting to invest 1,000 rupees.
Sure.
So what we say that, look, we will give advice in different manners. So to those people, what we'll say is that, okay, we will do a 1 hour session. So we try to educate a person. So we will tell him what's the purpose of investing, how do you invest, how do you choose, helping them find the right partner, and then then we help them build a portfolio. Okay, so for him, even with the 1,000, 1,500 rupees, he can live a life.
Amazing.
And the most interesting part, I have to tell you, people have the money. They don't know that the money is going to last them.
Sure.
Okay, so like today, if you were to, just taking an example, if you wanted 2 lakh rupees a month, okay, how much corpus do you think you need? If you were to invest in a mutual fund that is growing and you were doing a systematic investment plan, withdrawal plan, how much corpus do you think you'll need?
So technically, I mean, ideally, say about 10, 15 lakhs.
No, I'm talking about 2 lakhs a month income you want.
Okay.
So which is 24 lakh rupees per annum.
Yeah.
And you want it to last for a number of years. So what is the kind of corpus that you can give you 24 lakh rupees per annum?
Say about 10 crores.
Yeah. So that the typical answer would be a 10, 15 crore because you're looking at interest.
Yeah.
So you're thinking, look, 10 crores would give me, a 6-7% type of a growth interest rate. And so that 6-7% after tax is going to be 4-5%. So that's going to give me a 4 lakh, 5 lakh. Okay. So agar मैं even interest का लेता हूँ, it is about 5-6 crores that you need. But if you take it on a systematic withdrawal plan where you're just withdrawing 2 lakhs and your money is growing, you may just need about 3.5 crores.
Wow.
Okay, and you can live the next 30 years approximately on a 2 lakhs. So this is, again, I'm doing a very rough calculation. We have beautiful calculators on Bajaj Capital where you can go and do this calculation. You can see if my corpus was to grow at 10%, how long would my money last me? If my corpus was to grow at 8%, how long my money, how much can I afford to withdraw?
Amazing.
And you can play around with those things. So, and today, people, people who work with us realize that today they can live a better life than they are living.
Amazing. Sanjeev, which also brings me to a lot of dinner table conversation for people my age. I'm 50 and so are most of my friends. And we have conversations around retirement. About, I have my own practice. I run my own practice. Most of my friends are working professionals, senior leaders in various organizations, banking, finance, and all that. And every now and then it turns to how much do you love your job? Are you invested in your job? Is this a means to an end? Typical existential questions. And once I asked all of them a trick question. I said, If you could do work that you really, really love, would you be willing to settle for half of the money that you're making now? Somebody said, one of my friends said, where do I sign? Another person said, yeah, I think that sounds like a good bargain. My third friend said, not a penny less. So there's no right, there's no wrong answer. But to millions of senior level salaried folk, my take completely. Sometimes what comes in the way of them chasing their dreams is fear and uncertainty about what to do. They've only done these kind of jobs, and that's the only route they know. I'm keen to explore some of these aspects with you, with your permission, of course.
Yeah, sure. That's a very interesting topic for me, and I'll give you a slightly longish answer.
Please go for it.
Today, when I look at investors, I read a lot of columns written by them that we are looking at the lifetime value. We want to invest in people, companies who are acquiring a 20-year-old guy, a 21-year-old guy, 25-year-old guy.
Got it.
And they are going to give amazing lifetime value to the business.
Sure.
So that is why this fintech is valued at this crazy price. We are totally opposite. Today, you asked me that why is Bajaj Capital so quiet? One of the areas where we are very strongest on our customer acquisition is 50 plus and the kind of audience you're talking about. Because, let me tell you the difference. People talk about lifetime value. Lifetime value is if you're able to retain your client for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years.
Sure, absolutely.
Today is a great lifetime value.
Yes.
And when you acquire a person at 20, 25, how much money does he have? How much money is he putting in? 5,000 rupees? At great, somebody is doing really well, put 10,000. You will take 20 years to build a corpus, where you will be sustainable.
Got it.
And, people are today throwing money behind these startups. They are not going to be sustainable for the next 10, 15, 20 years. Whereas when you go after people who are above 50, all of them are averaging minimum 1 crore to 5 crore type of a saving.
Yes.
And today, due to the EPF, PPF, etc., people have built up savings.
Correct.
Okay. So people have built up savings. And when and that's where our concept of that second income comes, where we help them understand that, look, how much will this money last for you? We have a beautiful retirement tool that we have created, which is beautiful, graphical. It tells you that what are the various options available to you. What are the government-related schemes which are giving you slightly higher interest rates? If you were to look at mutual funds and equities as a higher risk option.
Yes.
Because the biggest misnomer is I am 50, and you have these, people going out and saying, oh, he's above 50, he shouldn't have equity in his portfolio. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Today, the guy is going to live till 80.
Yep.
He has 35 years left.
Yep.
So if equity is a good product for 5-year plus horizon, why shouldn't he have equity? Why should he compromise on his growth? Why should he grow his money at 6% when he can grow it at 12%?
Completely.
And we have all heard about power of compounding and the magic of compounding, and we have all heard the Warren Buffett story. Yes. So point is that, so people today don't realize that they can live the life of their dream. And a lot of them have already saved for it. And if a person is in his 40s, by his 50, 55, he can save a lot.
Got it.
So it's just about being conscious about money. So what they say, what gets tracked gets done.
Very true.
Same is with money. The moment you start looking at, and this is something I have been preaching personally, that don't look at your investments as just an investment. Look at it as a business that you're doing.
Beautiful. What a way to reframe.
So your investment, so there needs to be, Sanjeev Bajaj 1 and Sanjeev Bajaj family office as a separate entity in your mind. And you have to see, okay, how has my family office performed?
Beautiful.
Where am I saving? Where is my money going? What is my assets? What do I want to achieve? What do I want to buy?
Amazing.
And today we have all the tools. So person can say, look, I want to buy a house. This is going to be the worth. This is what I'm going to sell. So he can clearly understand, look, if I decide to probably reduce my outings twice a month, then probably I can upgrade myself from a 3-bedroom house to a 4-bedroom house.
Got it.
Now that's a conscious call he can take. And for all this, it's the tools, and that's where we are very strong on, which is our retirement tools and retirement planning tools and goal planning tools. So so you have to work on those tools, and you have to build up your portfolio, build up a second income. There are amazing products like systematic withdrawal plans, which gives you immense flexibility. But you have to have a right partner who helps you understand, okay, look, what you are withdrawing and has to, how long will your money last?
Amazing.
But you don't want to burn out your money by 70. Then again, you'll have to do the job that you hate, and it'll be much more difficult.
That's the biggest fear that everybody has, right? I mean, money outlasting you is okay, but you outlasting the money is okay, but not the other way around.
Yeah, so that's where you have to follow. Look, today we are living in a world of computers. Yeah, the calculators are there. Okay, so you need to have someone who can give you a calculator, which you can go once in 3 months on your portfolio review and see, look, depending on how much am I spending, how much am I withdrawing, how much is the return I'm getting. Because see, returns also change. Last 10 years, equity would have, 10, 20 years, equity in India would have given a 15% return. But will it give in the next 10, 15, 20 years? Nobody can predict. See, I don't want to be this thing, but typical is that it should be double if you are investing in good companies. They should give you double the country growth. So if country is going to grow at 6-7%, so a good company should grow at double the pace of the country, because you are investing in the top 30 or 40 companies in the country. And if you've done your company selection right, then they should grow at double the speed. So, if you build a good portfolio, I think 12% is my estimation, but these are all estimations.
Sure, of course.
This 12% can become 17% also.
Quite possible.
Last 3-4 years have been crazy.
Yes.
If you look at everybody's portfolio is doing so well. Every advisor is the best advisor in the world.
Sanjeev, if I'm not yet a Bajaj Capital customer, but at the end of this conversation, I think that might change. So, segueing on to your other role as an angel investor, because there is a lot of conversation in the startup ecosystem. You're one of the top 100 angels in the country. What seems a bit of a contrarian kind of a thing, considering what you do as your day job and, managing Bajaj Capital. How did this foray happen? What's the thinking?
Again, as we said, I've always followed leadership by, culture. And culture is all about stories. So another story that, and my father loves to tell stories.
Beautiful.
And I don't know if you've read on my LinkedIn or not. We have got about 70, 80 stories that we have written together now.
How sweet.
Okay. And
I did see one story.
So each story is about some lesson.
Beautiful.
So one of the stories that resonates with me is that, if you are living in a world, in a kitchen and you're a kamal, then you're still in the dirt.
You're still in the kitchen.
Whereas you want to be in the Mughal gardens where there is prosperity all around. So that was the onus for me in investing in startups, in helping get unsolved needs solved.
Beautiful.
So when I look at a startup, I look at, is he solving an unsolved need? Is he doing something unique? Is he going to make our lives better? And believe me, startup investing, a lot of people want to do it because it's a fashion. My friend invested here.
Sure.
It's crazy risky.
It's probably the most risky at this point.
No, it is not most. It is the crazy risky. Let me say. So out of 10, if 7, 8 will go out of business, because it's different about that. There's a difference in starting a business. There's a difference in growing it initially, 100%. And there's a difference in making it last.
Absolutely.
And very, very few entrepreneurs will be able to do all. And it all depends on external factors also, like availability of capital, how much burn are you doing. Okay, and we are moving from a transitionary phase, which is a very different phase where earlier startups are all about growth. Burn money, lose money, but grow. Today, people are saying, no, be profitable. Now, the guy who was used to burning money
Suddenly has to realize
has
a
to,
different way to...
and it's a huge change.
Sure.
Most of the people are not able to make a pivot. So, for me, putting this story short, it was about contributing it to the society. Okay, so when I put in money in startups, I know a lot of it is going to get burnt.
Gotcha.
Okay, so my own wealth manager tells me, boss, you're taking too much exposure. Exposure has gone up. Okay, and there's a good chance you lose considerable part of this money. But I do it where I feel that this guy is actually going to solve a need. And today I'm proud to be invested in companies which are doing some very unique things. They're offering very unique services.
Amazing.
which were not offered earlier. And it's making everybody's lives better. Yes, I know out of the 10, maybe 6 to 7 will go. Because the guy didn't have the rigor of being able to manage a business. But the other 3 will remain. And even those 7 companies out of 3, 4 will get sold.
Sure.
2, 3 will shut down.
Yep.
But even the ones who get sold to bigger entities are still solving that need. So that's the whole thing, So I look at it not like a investment, or I look at it as a hobby, and a CSR, something I'm doing for the community, something I'm doing for my country.
Wonderful. What's your exposure there in terms of percentage?
Of my portfolio? So my...
It would be a good yardstick for other successful leaders also to kind of...
Yeah. So mine would be about 20%.
Oh, wow. That's healthy.
That's very healthy, which is not not recommended. So if I was his advisor, I would be
10%.
Scolding him. Okay, so I would say restrict to between 5 to 10%.
I was thinking about 10, but looks like you just blew that out of the window.
As they say, a doctor doesn't follow his advice. So sometimes you break your own rules.
Oh, beautiful. But if that is not a path of growing and pushing the boundaries, then I think that's an interesting aspect, right? Sanjeev, diving deep into something that's very close to my heart, which is culture and stories. And it's very, very interesting that you also kind of landed on the same subject. If you could break down how good culture can be institutionalized, for lack of a better word, how should a leader go about it? What do you think are the building blocks that can be put together?
See, you have to understand what culture is. Okay? Culture is the glue that binds you together. Now, people come and tell me, look, I'm not having retention in my company. I'm not able to hold my people. The reason they are not able to do that, there is no glue. Okay? And it's not that I always get it right. Sure. Instilling a culture into a company is a very, very tough task. Okay? So I also have multiple companies. Some places I will have put in a culture. Some places I may not have put in a culture because I didn't have the time.
Got it.
Or I thought it was too small. It's 30, 40. Or kon itna time. Who's going to spend so much time? So instilling a culture is a very tedious task. But it is also then once you do it, it helps build a sort of a legal system which self-regulates. So it's in time you invest in building up a frame, but that frame saves you so much time for the rest of your life.
Nice.
Okay, so let me take an example. One day I was sitting on a flight with Mr. Harsh Mariwala. And he's probably one of the most passionate persons on culture.
Absolutely.
So he was, I was talking to him and he said, Sanjeev, I'll share a document I've created, which was a 4 page culture guide for Marico. And this is something that, I had also created, and it was amazing to get a sense that, look, others are also doing it, and look, Marico has become Marico
100%.
Because of that. And he said, look, Sanjeev, I never ask a person, is this right or wrong? I ask him, does it fit our culture?
Beautiful.
And his culture, he says, my culture was that whatever we do will be healthy for the customer. So if anybody comes to me with a product or with any solution, I'll say, is it healthy for the customer? Similarly, in Bajaj Capital, when I started into my company, we had a lot of old people, a lot of young people I was hiring, and I wanted to build a common, sort of a glue. And I love to do these programs. So one day, I was doing a program from Harvard where I learned about culture. I said, yeah, I have to implement it. So, so we took something from my father, so took something from and culture, you can't just come and transpose a culture.
No.
You have to take it from the way your people in the organization, you have to take it from the past. You have to take it from your own heart. So we built a culture code for Bajaj Capital, which we still follow today. And, I'll share that culture code. So number one, it's a five point thing. Number 1 point is treat your client as your own retired father. So we said, look, so you give him an advice as if you're advising your own father. And why do we say a retired father? Because we say respect his money. If he has an X amount of corpus, he cannot afford to lose a corpus. So whatever advice you give him, you have to keep his capital safe.
Sure.
Okay? And you have to give him the respect you give to your own father.
Gotcha.
When you talk to him. Okay? You have to service him as if the request was made by your father. Okay? So that's the first. So when something happens and some incident about client complaints, with my question to him or the question that our HR or any other will ask, would you have treated your father in the same manner?
Wow.
Okay? So and once people start following it, it gets instilled into their mind. Number 2 is that we say that a lot of times what is an organization built on? It's built on motivation. So where does motivation come in? So we say that you have heard these slogans, apne muh miyan mithu nahi bante, or don't beat your own drum. Is that correct? Most of the people will say yes. We say Bajaj Capital is absolutely incorrect. If you don't celebrate yourself, who else will?
Who else will? Beautiful.
Okay, so second part of the culture is we celebrate. Every day we'll get together and everybody gets to say, what am I proud of?
Very nice.
Okay? And all others will clap. And this story I told you of being a flower in the Kichad or a flower in Mughal garden, we said, look, everybody should not get jealous of that person, but they should get inspired by that person. That if he can do it, why can't I do it, and why can't I do it better? So we are pushing each and every one of us to different levels and higher levels. So that's the second component of the culture. Third is that we all go to the mandir and masjid, and what do? We ask, we pray. God give me this, God give me that. If you have to ask God, then how can you expect the company to read your mind? So there's a beautiful saying, again, one of the stories that, Bible stories, it says that if you want the door to open, you need to learn to knock.
Absolutely.
So point is that third culture is ask for what you want. And tell the customers, also tell them that they can ask for what they want. If they are not happy, let them ask. Let them say, I'm not happy. So be very open on what they want. For our employees, ask for what you want. So people say, no, I need a higher increment, or I feel I need this. So either you'll get it, maybe you got overlooked, or you will get a path. Okay, do this and you can get this. So at least you are satisfied.
It's better than not asking.
It's better than expecting.
Festering.
I meet so many people who are very, very senior. I expect my organization to give me this. I am not the kind of person who asks. At the end of the day, why do you want somebody to play God with you?
Sure.
Who can read your mind?
But what you said was even better. Even when you go to the temple, you do ask. It's not like you just sit and say, okay, aap jante ho.
So I have a story. I sometimes do these town halls. So I used to walk, and I used to. There's our family office team which works very closely with me, which is the super high net worth team. So there was this girl who would give me dirty looks every time. So I asked her, ma'am, is there anything wrong? She says, no. Then next time I crossed, then she's again giving me a dirty look. I said, are you sure anything wrong? No, sir. Then third day I looked at, then this time I called her boss. I said, what is wrong with this woman? Why does she, I feel, I can feel the vibe. And so she went and told, no, she's saying, okay. Then fourth time I saw it. Then I called both of them. I said, tell me what's the matter. He's saying, sir, when you were doing the town hall, you did clapping for everyone. And I have done this. And you didn't even acknowledge me. I was expecting that you would acknowledge me. Okay? Now, point is that person was getting tortured inside because of the expectation that, that I would get acknowledged. She was asked 3 times, 2 times by me, 1 time by her boss, was something wrong?
Beautiful.
But she wanted, no, you have to acknowledge me on your own. If I ask for it, then it's, we have been taught that. If you ask for it, then it's wrong.
Yeah.
But that's absolutely wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, so, because then organizations have thousands of people. How can you read each and every person's mind?
200%.
Okay? So learn to ask. So this is the third culture.
Beautiful.
Then learn to ask for what you want. You want a clapping? Please get up. And the second culture, go say that I did this, clap for me, guys.
Celebrate your success.
Yeah, celebrate your success. And then fourth is that people say knowledge is equal to success. Then all engineers would be successful. Okay? So knowledge is not, the fourth is that we have to tell them that, look, knowledge is not equal to success. There's one huge component in between, is practice.
Absolutely.
Knowledge needs to be practiced, and that brings a belief I can do it. And when you have the belief, that brings success. So practice. Knowledge for the sake of knowledge has no value.
So in this case, would you interpret practice as putting in the work? Knowledge could be talent. You're great at coding, you're great at reading a financial document and whatever. But if your work ethic is lacking, and if it's just knowledge, might not be a great recipe for leadership, right?
Yeah, see, it's very, very simple. See, again, there's no rocket science.
Sure.
Okay, you go and attend a lecture. Okay, from Stanford, you love it. You've got the knowledge. Okay, you don't come and try to implement it.
Then what's the point?
Okay, then there's no purpose on that. It's not going to get you any results. But when you go to that course, take notes, try to come and implement it. Implement a part of it.
Yeah. Sure.
Practice it.
Sure.
Learn from the mistakes. Oh, this is not getting implemented. Maybe it's not right for Indian culture. For
Maybe
Indian
not.
culture, I need to change this.
Sure.
Okay? So when you practice and you try to implement something, you try once, you try second time, you try the third time. So it is that the thing of practicing that makes you perfect.
Absolutely.
And when you have practiced 3-4 times, you get this confidence. Oh, I can do it. I know how to do it. Like today, I know how I can implement a culture in a company. I have that belief, and that belief makes me successful.
Beautiful.
Okay? So it is about the practicing, and it is very simple. It's like example is, filling up a form. Somebody tells you, okay, you fill up a form like this, but you don't practice filling up that form. Okay? You may not be able to fill it because there'll be questions you cannot answer. But you fill up that form, practice it 3 times. 4th time you'll say, yeah, I can do it. And when people can see that belief in your eyes, oh, I can do it. Okay, then I'll trust you to fill this form up for me. I'm ready to pay you a fees for this.
Got it.
Okay, so it's a simple aim of practicing it or doing it or implementing it. Okay? So because, a person may learn 100 of things in his engineering, but if he just practice making a car and keeps making it 3, 4, 5 times, he'll be great at making a car. He may not be great at 100 other things. May not be able to build a plane, but
he's got very good at making a car.
Yeah, so it is,
amazing.
And that's where he will succeed. Okay. So, and the 5th one is that, people, the most important thing is the arrogance. Again, arrogance is the biggest counterweight to our success. And what is the biggest counterweight to arrogance is gratitude.
Amazing.
Okay? So we said, look, it's your attitude and gratitude which will get you success. Learn to be grateful.
Beautiful.
Okay? So learn to say thank you. Okay? But nobody can do 100% things for you. But even if he's made a 1% contribution in your life, be thankful for that. Be thankful for your company. Be thankful for your clients. Being thankful for your family who's supporting you. Okay? When you are, when you are thankful, you have the gratitude. Okay? So we are thankful to our customers. Okay? We are not doing them a favor. Okay? We are professionals, but they are doing us a favor also by being with us.
Sure.
So it's a relationship of equals.
Amazing.
Okay? So it is so our fifth belief is that always have gratitude.
Very nice.
Okay? So that's the culture code, and that's what we instill in everyone who joins our company.
Great.
And when something goes wrong or something happens, we don't question him. Why did this happen? Why did you do this? We say, how does this fit into our culture? Okay? And this gives us our sixth most powerful thing. Okay? Is that be an owner. So when you have a culture, then people are not waiting to ask you everything. Because if they ask you everything, then you're a bottleneck.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay? So we say go implement, make a mistake as long as you are doing it for the benefit of the company.
Correct.
You should have not missed out on the diligence. Then you will get questioned. Look,
Sure.
But if you took a wrong call basis the data, that's absolutely fine. Okay? Because your intentions were right and you made a mistake. So, the sixth, and this has become the sixth point we need to add now to our culture code, is that, don't be scared of mistakes.
We had a similar one at Fox, which was, it is better to ask for forgiveness later rather than wait around endlessly for permission. So it is a little maverick in that sense that, we trust you, you have good intentions, you treat the company as your own, and instead of waiting endlessly for permission within the system, go out and do it. If it doesn't turn up smelling all roses, it's perfectly all right.
And see, in our meeting, when I'm sitting with my team, so many people, they're not scared of talking about their mistakes.
Very nice.
And that's very important.
Beautiful.
So the person will start, this is something I need to celebrate on. But I did something really stupid. I didn't look into this. I did this and I made a mistake. Now, a lot of people don't understand that's the key to success, because people generally don't want to admit their mistake.
Yeah.
And I see organizations where people will keep justifying their mistake again and again. 100%. And no, I didn't do this. You didn't do that. This didn't happen. Okay? So till he doesn't accept his mistake, he's not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere. The organization is not going anywhere. Okay? Our conversations, even young kids, I did this, I made a mistake.
Beautiful.
Okay? I made a mistake. And the next question is, okay, what did you do about it? I did this. I think this is going to work.
I think that's great, because it's accountability, it's respect for the other person's judgment as well, right? And you're not in denial. And I think that's the beginning process of a transformative change. And what Mr. Mariwala told you, and what you also inherently spoke about, it's very remarkably close to Herb Kelleher's mission statement for Southwest Airlines. So apparently his thing is, and in a business where it's rife with losing money, Southwest had turned around money for the last 35, 40 years. And I remember Richard Branson saying that the best way to become a millionaire is to become a billionaire first and then start an airline. And Herb Kelleher's feedback or pushback to anybody who came in with a suggestion was, will this help us be the low-cost airline in this sector? Will it benefit the customer this way? If it doesn't, then what are we talking about? It could be a great idea, but if it doesn't answer the simple litmus test, right? And like Mr. Mariwala and what you spoke about as well, if it doesn't jibe with our culture, chances are it's not a great idea to begin with. Amazing. Um, I'd be really interested to figure out how you've handled setbacks, both professionally, personally. What is the story you've told yourself at that time?
These setbacks are a very normal process of life, and you have good periods. Okay, and you have very good periods, and then as they say in Hindu philosophy, they say there is a शनि की दशा आ गई और शनि की नजर लग गई. What does that mean? That means you get arrogant and you start making mistakes. Okay, so that mistakes that you make in arrogance, or which result in bad mistakes or bad times, okay, are very tough. Okay, so whether you like it or you don't like it, it'll put you down.
Of course.
So people say, "Ki, look, what is motivation?" And I read this beautiful quote. It says, "People get out of their bed, have a bath, come to work. They are motivated, and what you say is what demotivates them." Okay, so you don't have to do anything to motivate people rather than not demotivating them.
Beautiful.
Okay. So in this time, you have to motivate yourself. Okay. And for me, motivation comes from music.
Oh, lovely. Do tell.
So for me, there's a nice German lady from a professor in Germany who's done a lot of research on how music plays with your motivation.
Amazing.
Okay. So I have my playlist. Okay, I call it my mood booster. Okay, and which is something I've learned from experience. That over a period of time, okay, that these were the songs from my childhood which used to pump me up. This is my child from my teen year. This is my song from my current year, or this is a song I just heard somewhere, and some of the songs are not even in English language. Amazing. I have no clue what they're saying, but I like the music. And so that's my mood booster playlist. Then I have my calm down playlist. Okay, when I'm going crazy, I need to calm down. Okay, so so then I have my Be Happy playlist. So, for me, it's about that. So that's obviously, so that's one of the components that, I will put my music on and I will have that, things that get my hormones going in my body.
Excellent.
And then obviously, then it is about practicing and putting it right.
Amazing.
Take care. So the second thing for me is tough times is accepting your mistake. And not trying to hide it, because people, when they make a mistake, they make it even worse by trying to hide that mistake.
Sure.
So my next thing is that how do I tell the world I made the mistake? So at least it's off my chest.
It takes a lot of grace. It's not so easy, right? There's a lot of self-preservation that comes in the way. And it requires humility, it requires grace, it requires maturity, it requires a lot of confidence, actually, to say, yes, I'm as fallible as they come by.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, till you are holding it on your heart, it's a weight.
200%.
So
200%.
so you have to let that weight go. Second is, okay, the second is sharing it. And when you start sharing it, or you get a right professional, to come in, like you're a coach,
sure,
go talk to a coach, go talk to your lawyer, go talk to your accountant, go talk to a person who's an expert on this. And most of the times you realize it wasn't as tough as you thought it would be. Okay? So second for me, tough times is about accepting the mistake. And third is about grit. Keep
that's
at it.
Interesting.
Keep at it. And believe me, everybody in this world has good days and everybody in this world has bad days.
Sure.
Okay? The people who seem to only have good days are the people who have the grit to work through those bad days.
Amazing. Sanjeev, which brings me to leadership, a subject that's very close to my heart. But I wanted a real view on Indian organizations and their approach to leadership content. When I say that, what I mean is, karte karte ye leader ban jayega, ya where does he or she go to soak in this information and learn newer ways of leading oneself and leading their teams, is that relevant in today's context from an India growth perspective?
So it is very, very important. Okay, but the problem here is that as you talk about coaching, okay, so I have seen people have great experience with coaching. I have people have a really bad experience with the coach. Okay? Because at the end of the day, coach didn't know what he was talking about, and coach was bringing his own biases into the people's lives.
Okay. The dark side of coaching, so to speak.
Yeah, the dark side of the coaching. But I truly believe that leadership training is essential. Okay? And like I have a belief that all my leaders have to do one program every year.
Beautiful.
Okay? And believe me, the amount of chasing I have to do for that. Okay?
I'm not surprised.
Okay? Have you done this? I'm doing it because pehle to no, I don't need
लेकिन
it.
काम है मेरे.
Okay?
I have so much work
and
to
the
do.
person who's the worst performer, or person who's a fluke performer. There's a worst performer, and there are some people who are fluke performers.
Correct.
Are the people who actually feel they don't need it.
Wow.
They are the most adamant. No, I don't need it. I have other needs for my money. I want to go and buy a bicycle, or I want to go and buy, this mountain bike. And I would rather not invest in upgrading myself. Or organization can pay for it. When an organization pays for it, and life mein whatever comes free is never appreciated.
I agree.
So
if you don't have skin in the game, then.
So a lot of times we have this debate even at our board. Let's give it free, because at the end of the day, even the board members want it free.
Sure.
So at the end of the day, so my father used to tell me that, Sanjeev, surround yourself with people who are willing to pay the price themselves.
Beautiful.
Because only then they'll make people pay the price.
No, I think that's very, very
so people are not ready to fight for it because they don't want to pay for it, or they don't want to just think about it. But you have to invest in yourself. So what we do is we say, okay, you invest in yourself, pay 50%, and I will sponsor the remaining 50%. And if you remain with me for 3 years, then whatever 50% you have paid also, you show to me you have implemented it, I'll give it to you as a bonus.
How nice, yeah. How nice. Sanjeev, one of the most important aspects of the pod that we are on is stories that shift. And I'm curious about stories that have shifted your own perspective, your own belief, your own behavior. Please take us on the journey.
Yeah. So these are stories which are actually written by me. Okay. But these are stories I remember, and they have a significant impact on my life. And the way they came about is that my father is my sounding board. So when I'm thinking of a story, I will go and talk to him. He'll add his 2 bits, and he's lovely at giving quotations.
Nice.
Quotes. And he's lovely at giving how others other perspectives to it. So, and this is how we create these stories, which are one page. So I publish it on my LinkedIn as my passion. We have about 55 stories. So some of the stories that have the biggest impact on me is the story of a carpenter. This carpenter works for this company, and they're building these holiday homes. And he's worked all his hard life, and he's helped them build a name for themselves, that they are the best holiday home builders, and they build the best wooden cottage. Now this guy is getting at 60. And he, one day thinks, look, I have given my life to this company. I have given my life to this guy. His reputation is built on my expertise, this thing. And, and he's made all the money. He's got all the glory. What have I got? So this guy feels, look, I've been short-charged. I've done all the hard work. I've done everything. And this guy gets all the fame. People say that this is the guy, he's the miracle worker. He does awesome houses. And so he said, look, this is going to be the last work I do for him. And now I want to retire. This guy's stolen away all my glory. And he tells him, look, this is a house you need to build. He goes and he does the most shabby job.
Of course.
Okay? He said, like, I want to tell him that look, what you did was wrong, and you have taken all away my glory. Okay? So, and I want to teach him a lesson. Okay? So he builds a house which is almost unusable. Okay? And he's saying this will set him right. Okay? And when he finishes that house and he says, look, boss, house is done. The boss says, yeah, I'm sure you have done as great job as you. And I know you have been talking to people that you want to retire. This is my gift to you. Okay? So he gets the most shabbily built house as his reward.
Oh,
Okay? So point is that you have to, for me, the learning from this story is you have to give always your best. Because you never know what is going to come around to you.
very nice. Very
Okay?
nice.
So in life, always learn to give your best. Okay? Whenever there's a situation where I feel, oh, what will I get? Why should I do this? Especially when you're on industry bodies and a lot of other stuff. Okay? So a lot of time, I'm spending so much time, there's so much liability, there's so much nuisance. But then I realized, look, if I'm doing it, I have to give my best.
Very nice.
Okay? And I've got a lot of rewards from that. So this is a story that really resonates with me. Another story is called the story of a donkey. Okay? So this is about this comes from Indian mythology. There's a story when Lord Krishna was born and his father was making him cross the river, and you've heard the story how the river parted and he was able to cross. But a part of that story is that there was a donkey, king of donkeys, who was prowling away. And the father was scared that he will wake up everybody. Okay? And the story goes that, he asked the donkey king, please be quiet, I have to go. He says, you'll have to touch my feet. And you'll have to put Lord Krishna at my feet. And Krishna's father does that. He puts Lord Krishna on his feet. Okay? So, and the guy remains quiet, and he's able to take Krishna, and they're able to reach the safety. Okay? So one day somebody asks Lord Krishna this question that, you're the god.
Yeah.
But why did you have to touch a donkey's feet? Okay, so he says, you have to remember in life, every donkey will have his day. Okay? And on that day, you choose not to fight with him.
Wow.
Okay?
Really
so
good.
you choose your battles.
Yeah. Because I remember.
So imagine you're going and you get caught by a traffic cop. You start fighting with him. It's his day. So I'm not calling him a donkey, but I'm just saying every person in an organization, in any situation, has his day. And you have to choose your battles. Success is not about what you fought for. It's about what you chose not to fight for.
Brilliant.
Okay? These are the two stories that really resonate with me. That
Sanjeev, amazing. I don't think we can end this on a better note. I think beautiful stories. Thank you for having been on our show. I'm leaving a lot more wiser and calmer and much more richer in my head and my heart. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was my pleasure.